Hello, this is John from caveofprogramming.com, and in this tutorial we're going to look at doing a query in Hibernate where you've got a restriction on a joined table. So if we look at get offers in Offers DAO here, we're doing select star from offers and we're joining offers with users on users.username and offers.username. That's our join column, and we're saying users.enabled is true. And we've seen previously an example here in Users DAO where we placed a restriction on the actual objects that we're actually querying. We said here that the primary key of username must be equal to this primary key, username in the user object must be equal to this string. If you want to place a restriction on a join table, you need to put an extra step in here of creating a alias. So we'll look at how to do that now. This query, my test won't pass unless this bit is in there. And just to prove the point, you can see that at the moment they pass. But if I were to deliberately mangle my SQL here and change this to, let's say, false, or actually let's just remove it so that we have no restriction, and then I run it again, then the tests fail. So that's just a check. It's always good to know that we have to implement the right thing to get the test to work. And I'm going to just delete this now, and we'll do this now in pure Hibernate. So the first step is just the same as if we were doing any kind of query on our offer objects. We need to say criteria, any kind of query involving some kind of restriction, that is, some kind of criteria. Criteria crit equals the current session dot create criteria offer dot class. So we want to bring back a list of offers. So we need to say create criteria offer dot class. The second step here, which is a bit different from before, is we need to say crit dot create alias. Now the property of offer, which contains our user, is called user with a lowercase u. So here I need to say user, and we need to create an alias for that property, and I'll make the alias u. I don't know why we need to go to this step, go through this step of creating an alias, but we do, it seems, so I will do. And then we can say add, and we can add a restriction to it, and I'm going to say add restrictions, and this is our where clause in our SQL. Let's say restrictions dot equals, and u dot enabled, so u dot enabled is true. Let's add the import for restrictions. And finally, since we're expecting a list of objects to be returned, even if there's nothing in that list or just one object, we can say return crit dot list. So the only extra step here is, compared to what we've seen before, is this create alias business. And now, hopefully, our tests will pass. Let's run them. And I'm not going to refactor my tests anymore. There we go. Because I've already got this test create here, which is in Offers DAO test, which is actually already checking that we only retrieve offers for enabled users. We've got at least a rudimentary check in there. So I'm just going to rename this to test create retrieve to reflect the fact that it's also a kind of at least a rough and ready test, slightly better than what we had before of our retrieval method. So that's it for this tutorial, and until next time, happy coding.